What up? What up? Just made a video and somebody called me from a spam likely and messed up the last video. But I keep telling myself I'm gonna put it on airplane mode, so let me get that in. So, anyways, we're gonna talk about problems at work. The problems that you face at work. In your jobs, you have the employee, which is probably you for the most part. You have the management, multiple managements, morning, noon, night, overnight. You have the higher ups, you have the janitor, you have human resource, and everyone has a specific job to do. And everyone knows their specific job that they have to do, especially if you've been there for a very long time. So what messes up this system? What messes up this system? And what messes up this system is management. It's not really the employees. At your job right now, you got certain types of management or manager. Let's talk about two of them real quick. You have the narcotic manager, is what I call him or her. That's the manager that overcompensates, that breathes down your throat. I mean, not down your, breathe down your neck. That's always looking for something wrong. That's the manager that y'all keep talking about at lunchtime and while you're on the lunch break. Oh, so get on my nerves. By the way, I said overcompensate because when a person does something and that's their main thing and they always doing it, it's always a story behind it. It's always a story behind it. A lot of people that you went to school with, if they were really bossy and narcotic and always like doing something to have some type of control over you, for the most part they didn't have no control somewhere else, or they didn't feel wanted in their family, so they overcompensated. A lot of bullies got bullied in their family. Their mom and dad bullied them, so that's all they know, so they went to school and bullied. A lot of cops were like that. You was the middle child and nobody wanted to deal with you, or you were your oldest or whatever, and your family, you felt like your family neglected you. That's a self-image problem, by the way. And what you end up doing is you grew up with that and you overcompensated. So now you're this narcotic manager or this narcotic police officer that just needs to have this control, and it gets out of hand all the time. So here you are, you got your boss and he's breathing down your throat. Not your boss, your manager. He's breathing down your throat. He's messing up the flow of the system. You're doing all this stuff. And guess what? Here's the kicker. He doesn't self-reflect, that we talk about all the time. He has terrible communication because he has one perception in life, and that's to overcompensate all his feelings that he felt in his first 12 years of his life or more. And he's an a-hole. And some of you guys know these type of managers because you had these managers in your jobs. I've had managers like this before. I've had teachers like that. Hell, I've had people at the gas station. You can tell if you be around these type of people in the workforce, or if you get, you're going somewhere like a gas station or McDonald's or whatever, you'll see and identify these type of people. They're everywhere. And let me tell you what this person does. Now, there is a theory called the Hawthorne theory, if I'm not mistaken. I took a business class in college. So the Hawthorne theory is basically when, let's say I'm the manager and I come in and I'm breathing down everybody's throat. I'm looking for errors. There's another process when I'm looking for something. It's a process in your brain. If I look around me and I'm looking for red, I'm looking for everything red. Red, 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 red. And I close my eyes and then I try to look for blue. I'm not gonna see blue because I was focused on the red too much. And some stuff ain't even red. It might be dark brownish red. I'll still call it red just to be successful. So take that concept and put it in the brain of a narcotic manager looking for problems. When you look for something, you'll find it. You can sneeze, achoo. Oh, you're not doing your work, blah, blah, blah. He'll create problems. And when you are not in tune with yourself, you'll see him creating problems and start looking at yourself. Am I creating problems? And then eventually he's manifesting problems out of you. Now everybody's going crazy or you getting upset. The reactions that you give off of this narcotic manager is creating problems. So again, his whole idea of looking for red, looking for red, looking for red, close his eyes, look for blue. He ain't gonna look for blue. He's only gonna see the red. So whatever you put your mind to and focus on, you focus on that and you exclude everything else. So do you see how that become a problem in the workforce? You as an employee, you know what you're supposed to do when you come in there, but you get in and this person is looking for errors. And you know what? Now that I'm talking about it, some of y'all parents were like that. That's why some of y'all are so edgy and, pat my back type people. Because your parent was like that. That's why I say you need to work on your self-image. Your self-image is how you look at yourself. And you look at yourself based off the perceptions of your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, your teacher, the local gas station, whatever. All of that stuff developed in you. So by the time you turned 12, you had a self-image of yourself. That's why I said we all have a small 12-year-old inside of us. And whatever problems you had at 12 years old, the same problems you have right now, they just expanded. The same gifts you had at 12 are the same gifts you have right now. You just expanded on them or added to them. So the same self-image you had at 12 is the same self-image you have right now. You haven't changed it a bit. You expanded it, but you haven't changed it unless you start self-reflecting and working on yourself and getting it into self-improvement. But a lot of us are not into self-improvement, so we still have the same problems we had at 12. They just expanded. That's why when you get into a relationship with these narcotic people and you start understanding them, a lot of their narcoticness came from when they was kids. That was a long time ago. It's 2019 and you telling me something in 2008 made you the way you are right now? You're not thinking. If you were thinking, you wouldn't be in none of the issues that you're in right now. If that narcotic manager was thinking, he would stop overcompensating for the problems that he had and bringing them to work and disrupting the workforce. What do you do to these type of people that are narcotic and want to be in control and breathe down your throat and don't want to self-reflect and want to have one perception on communication? What do you do with these type of people? You hold them accountable for every word that come out their mouth. This is how I deal with these type of people, because I have a boss in my past that was like that. Every text message, every phone call, every paperwork, everything that has to do with you and him, keep a record of. Because he don't self-reflect. His ruling state of mind is overcompensating with some problems he had 10, 20 years ago. So he ain't thinking. He's in a trance. So what you do is you keep all his words. So when he comes to you and be like, no, you did, but it was something, he's telling you that you're doing something wrong that he told you to do, because people don't think. I'm sorry. Nobody thinks. Even you that's probably watching this ain't think. Sometimes I catch myself not thinking. We don't think because our brain doesn't want us to think. Our brain wants us to do a whole bunch of patterns so he could take them patterns and say, okay, I'm going to have these pattern of thoughts right here so you don't have to think about them no more. I'm going to automatically put them on autopilot so you don't have to think about them no more. And these problems could be self-sabotaging and terrible. For an example, here's a problem. The way you eat. You know you eating wrong when you go on a diet and then you get off the diet and go right back to how you were eating. Your brain don't want no change. Your brain's like, I got this. I'll do all this type of thinking for the diet for you. Stop. What are you doing? You eating vegetables? No, we eat Chick-fil-A. No. Oh, yeah, you can eat vegetables for 2 or 3 days. Okay, Chick-fil-A. That's what your brain is doing. When that process is going on, it's hard to think because your brain is trying to think old thoughts of the past. So these new thoughts have to repetitively be put in there and burn the old thinking away. And habits die hard. So anyways, let's get off that. We get back on this manager. You want to get to a point where you holding him or her accountable for every little word that come out their mouth. This is how you beat them gracefully. Because some of y'all, boy, y'all be going to work and be firing up on them. You beat them that way. That's one type of manager. You got the second type of manager. That's the cool, laid-back manager. He'll come over your house, smoke with you, drink with you. And he gets so friendly that he forgets that he's a manager. I dealt with them in the past. You've dealt with them in the past. And it ain't got to be a manager. Some of these things could be your parents was doing. Just cool and laid back with no discipline. They ain't disciplining you. Now you a non-disciplinary type person. Now you got kids and you ain't disciplining them because your mom and dad didn't teach you no discipline. So it can't just be manager. It could be anything. So you got this manager. He's not disciplined. He's trying to be your friend. He's laid back. And that messes up the job force too. Now his higher ups is looking at him like, hey, why everybody fooling around and playing? You're going to lose your job if you don't get it. So now he has to play management now. Because now the system is off. Y'all all lollygagging and stuff. Y'all think y'all could just get on the clock and do whatever y'all want to. So now the higher ups is on his ass now. Now he gets into manager mode. Soon as he get in manager mode, you're not used to him being in manager mode. Now you take it personal. Hopefully by now you see that the system of work has to be, the managers have to be on point. You can't have a narcotic manager. You can't have a manager that's cool and relaxed. So back to this cool, relaxed manager. The higher ups gets on his butt or her butt. Now it's time for them to be a manager. You're not used to them trying to be a manager. Now y'all fighting. Now y'all not friends no more. Now there's more problems because he didn't want to do his job right. So how do you deal with people that's like that? That's management like that, or parents that are like that? Well, I don't know how as far as parents, like, it all depends, but we're going to talk about management there. How do you deal with a management like that? You got to remind him the same way you remind a narcotic manager. Hey, we got work to do. You know, some of them managers, they so cool, they'll sit there and talk to you for 30, 40, 50 minutes, and you got a 30-minute break, but y'all talking for 45 minutes. You got to wrap them conversations up with him. You got to say, okay, let's get to work. Let's do this. Sometimes you got to cut the slack and be the slack of the manager that he ain't being. Sometimes that work out that way. That's what I did. Had a manager that was all cool and stuff, and I had to take the slack of his management to make things work. Sometimes you gotta do that, or you just go to higher ups. And I ain't trying to tell you to be no snitch or nothing, you know, because you know how y'all are about that. But I'm just saying, sometimes you gotta go outside of your job description to make things work. And that's what we're gonna talk about next. Going outside the job description, or being what I call an overachiever. This is how I know nobody thinks. Your bills are skyrocket high. You ain't making enough money. You love to be at home and watch TV though. Your bills are more than 70% of your paycheck for the month. but you love to be at home watching TV and playing a video game and relaxing at home. That's a conflict. At the middle of the month or the end or the beginning, a certain bill or certain bills come up and you're short all the time. And you stressed out all the time about the bill. Dang, bills. But you love to sit in front of the TV and be entertained. Look at the word, entertain. So you tainting your insides with somebody else's concepts. No thinking. Me, on the other hand, I'll be like, okay, my bills are $1,800 a month and I'm only making $20,000 a month. Time for a new job. But some of y'all been on y'all job for the last 10 years knowing that they don't pay enough bills, and you got terrible habits of coming home and watching TV and just sitting on your butt. But meanwhile, your job is the job that you have right now, you know. They're saying, oh, we got overtime, or oh, we got a position coming up and you meet the requirements, or oh, there's another job over here that pays double. But you don't go for none of it. You get mad when they ask you for overtime. Or you got free time after work. You ain't got no kids or nothing, or you do have kids, or whatever the case is, and you don't want to pick up a second job because you feel like you need time to watch your favorite TV shows and lollygag at home and play video games. So you do this for another 10 years and you still get the same results. Bills sky high, middle of the month, something comes up that's finna get cut off. Does it sound like your life? If it is, you're not thinking. When I started thinking, I looked at my life and I was like, wait a minute. My bills are damn near 70% of the income that I make. Either two things need to happen. I need to get a second job. Well, multiple things can happen. Either get a second job, cut back on some bills, or cut back on some spending, get another job, make this work for me. Now you're thinking when you think like that. And then it ain't just the thinking, it's the action that is taken after the thinking too, that lets me and yourself and everyone else know that you're a thinking person. There's no way you're thinking and you let 10 years go by of the same issues every year, every month, every day. Oh man, every 13th of the month, your phone bill get cut off because you ain't got enough money, because you're not making enough money. You know the answers to all your questions. You don't self-reflect. You don't communicate with yourself because you don't communicate with other people. You're not thinking. You're just letting life go on autopilot. And some of the stuff that you got on autopilot in your subconscious mind is really self-sabotaging. So if you got self-sabotaging paradigms on autopilot, multiple paradigms on autopilot that's causing you to be mediocre, but you want to be a better person, how does that work? Think about it. We've been doing the same. Look, you cannot change your life and have the same thoughts you had yesterday or today. The same thoughts that you had yesterday, you probably had a month ago. The same thoughts you had yesterday, you probably had a year ago. And your thoughts are making your results that you're having. Bills not paid, you ain't got no car, or your job ain't nothing, or your relationships are non-meaningful. You got to change your whole thought process to create different results. You can't be what you are now. I don't think I can stress that more than I can stress it. I say it on almost every video. You have to change your whole self. You got to. Otherwise, it ain't gonna work. Self-reflection. 2020 is coming up. Why not change some stuff about yourself? Don't wait till January. Do it now. But I'm going to get back to what I was doing. It's just a quick video. Hopefully y'all learned something. Hopefully, look, these videos, I got a lot of information on my videos. Some of these videos is gonna take you more than once or twice, maybe 10, 100 times to watch, to listen to what I'm saying, so you can get a repetition of what I'm saying. Listen to them over. Listen to some of these videos over and over and over again till something clicks up here. Repetition breaks habits. So watch the videos over and over and over again until you get what you need out of them. And you'll know, because something up here will click. So I'll catch up with y'all later.